Welcome to another thrilling episode from Marvelous Videos. I'm your host Gemma, and today I'll be taking you through Nekron, the incredibly powerful lord of the unliving. Amidst a variety of supervillains, Nekron is better understood as the manifestation of death himself. He cannot be killed as he's not living, and stopping such a force has always been difficult for our DC superheroes. Nekron was created by writers Mike.W.Barr and Len Wein and designed by Joe Staton. Nekron is a recurring opponent for the Green Lantern Corps and Captain Atom, but his wrath can easily bring down any league of superheroes. He is also the creator of the Black Lantern Corps as shown in the events of the Blackest Night. Although he is considered to be an embodiment of death, he is more like an opposing factor to light, symbolizing life's creation. So without further delay, let us dive into our video where we're going to explore this enormously powerful evil entity, Nekron. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, let's begin. His first comic book appearance. Nekron first appeared in Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, Volume 1, Issue 2. It was written by Mike.W.Barr and Len Wein and was published in June 1981. The story begins with the Guardians of the Universe finding a rift in the universe through which the evil Krona has returned. They plan to carefully execute their actions just before they get attacked and overpowered by Nekron, although not revealed yet. One Guardian manages to escape to warn the Green Lantern Corps about the impending danger. The plot shifts to Oa, where we see the Lanterns repairing the Emerald Battery and paying tribute to deceased Green Lanterns. Hal makes an announcement and leads the remaining Corps members to stop Krona and his army. The Lanterns have low ring energy left, and without their battery installed, they have to wind up the Krona issue fast. One of the Green Lanterns, Stell of Grendor, arcs out of the warp in the Andromeda system, gets attacked by Krona, and before he could realise, he's torn apart in bits. His ring cries out for help and he's heard by the other Lanterns. They learn that the universe is shrinking and pulling all heavenly bodies towards the centre, using which Krona plans to put an end to all life forms. Krona's army soon attacks the Lanterns and they prevail. They force one of the Krona's soldiers, Tylot, to reveal the entire event and how Krona is so powerful. Tylot explains that after the Guardians had exiled Krona, he travelled and crossed the final barrier between dimensions. He reached the world of the unliving and met their Lord Nekron, who also became his master. Nekron made Krona this powerful so that he could take his revenge against the Guardians. Before the Lanterns could process all that information, the Guardian, who had escaped earlier, reaches and warns them that Krona is in Oa, following which he dies in Hal's arms. The Lanterns reach Oa and begin their battle with Krona, in which the evil entity easily overpowers them. Hal channels the energy from the nearby Green Lantern rings with no other option and hits Krona with a massive blast of green light. Krona gets defeated, but manages to escape through another rift. How Nekron existed from the beginning of time. Nekron is a major nemesis in the DC Comics world and one of the most powerful cosmic supervillains and evil gods in the DC universe. Nekron signifies a force that has from the beginning of time. He is a primordial creature created from the fracturing of the emotional spectrum and is the personification of Black Death. He is the polar opposite of white, the life entity, and has attempted to put an end to all life in the universe since the beginning of his existence in the cosmos. Nekron is a sentient entity, yet he is not alive because humans define the term. He is the only king of the land of the unliving, a realm that spirits pass through before being judged. Likewise, he is imprisoned within this domain as an internal punishment, unable to depart despite his repeated attempts to enter into our reality. His origins are shrouded in secrecy. Nobody knows how he came to be the ruler of his domain, or if he was once a live entity. According to recent accounts, Nekron is not so much a portion of darkness as it is darkness himself, predating the emergence of life as we know it. Furthermore, it is claimed that the darkness created Nekron as its identity and utilized him to defend itself against life. It's also been suggested that the Guardians of the Cosmos fought and imprisoned Nekron near the beginning of the universe. Nekron originally became aware of the living world through the deceased cosmic evil Krona, who had been trapped in his own realm for much of eternity. Because of the death of an immortal, a gap in the continuum between dimensions had opened, and Nekron gazed upon the cosmos, seeing all that was life itself, and resolved to become its ruler. He revived and empowered Krona with an army of the undead at his disposal to slay the Guardians of the Universe and deepen the split in order to escape his prison. It required the whole Green Lantern Corps combined force to destroy them in a titanic fight that claimed hundreds of lives. Hal Jordan went on a suicide mission into the land of the unliving, using the souls of his fallen lanterns to combat the great evil. Their united willpower overwhelmed Nekron long enough for the Guardians to shut the gap, allowing Hal to flee, returning the Lord of the Unliving to his dead prison. Nekron has made a few more forays into our world and interacted with superheroes while being primarily constrained. After dying temporarily, Captain Atom met various avatars of death, including Death of the Endless and the Black Racer. Each of them was shown as a part of the dying process. Nekron portrayed death as the ultimate adversary, a cosmic inevitability. He had deliberately staged the hero's death in order to acquire control of the planet's quantum-filled life force. Captain Atom utilized his link to drain energy from Nekron's own personal field, depowering him sufficiently to beat him in a physical battle, despite absorbing a large portion of the power. He was given another chance to enter the corporeal plane in Underworld Unleashed. The Tower of Fate's destruction opened a new gap into our plane, and Nekron battled Nebiros for the right to rule the Earth. He triumphed in battle, and the undead souls of the damned poured forth across the globe as hell erupted. He was up against Alan Scott and Fate. Nekron was on the verge of gaining complete entry to our planet, but Green Lantern was able to shatter the gateway with his green flame after fighting him with the enormous supernatural might of Fate. During Ghosts, he was able to return to our planet once more. The Green Lantern Corps is a group of deceased Green Lanterns that have been brought back to life by an unknown supernatural power. This caused a new fracture in his world, but it was still too small for him to squeeze through. Taking command of the Zombie Lanterns, he dispatched them to catch the long survivor of his original foes. Kyle Rayner is a fighter. If Nekron had slain him and mastered his abilities, he would have been able to escape his prison, but Kyle retreated through the gap and personally defeated each of the renegade lanterns in a single battle. Putting them to rest, shut the gateway and stopped Nekron's menace once more, despite the lengthy and painful struggle. The superhuman hero Witchfire, who performed his incantation without recognizing the ramifications, mistakenly brought Nekron into our dimension. She joined forces with Wonder Woman to stop him from taking the life power from any more innocents while he was feasting. On that particular occasion, the combination of magical forces and godlike strikes was enough to send him back to his own domain. After the final crisis, Nekron returns triumphantly during the Blackest Night, forming the Black Lantern Corps comprised solely of his undead armed with power rings to wreak devastation across the universe. His ambitions for this date back to the Sinistra Corps War, when he killed and absorbed the Anti-Monitor in order to recharge his own central power battery on the planet Riot in Sector 666. The battery wouldn't fully charge until Lanterns Ash and Sarek, his first new victims, found and disrupted it. He has chosen the fallen Guardian Scar as one of his minions, who was burnt by the Anti-Monitor and contaminated by his touch, causing her to slowly expire and fall under his spell. There's also proof that he spent his whole life influencing William Hand, aka Black Hand, a notorious criminal. When Black Hand killed himself and his family, Nekron adopted him as his herald, solidifying his power over him. As his strength grows across the cosmos, the dead rise and return to exact vengeance on the living, allowing him to expand his power by actually consuming the hearts and emotions of those still alive. To reach their full potential, only individuals with emotional links to superheroes and villains are revived. The central battery is charged to full capacity capacity by the sheer volume of death produced by his Black Lantern rings. He transfers himself and his men down to Earth at this point to personally lead his army. When he lands in the midst of Coast City, he transforms every single dead inhabitant into a Black Lantern and declares that everyone owes him their lives and he has come to collect. Legislators from all 7 Lantern Corps join forces to defeat him. Atrocitus, Carol Ferris, Hal Jordan, Indigo, Larfleeze, Saint Walker, and Sinestro send their combined beams into his power battery, aiming to annihilate it with all creation's life force energies. This simply strengthens him, and it appears that he intended it this way. Animal Man, Donna Troy, Green Arrow, Ice, Kid Flash, Superboy, Superman, and Wonder Woman are all killed and resurrected as Black Lanterns by Nekron. He claims they only fled because he allowed them to achieve his own interests. These are all persons who have come back from the dead at some time in their life. He intends to use his troops to expose a Guardian's terrible secret. The cosmos will thereafter be returned to a condition of tranquil order. Nekron's purpose is revealed to be to discover and destroy the white entity, the manifestation of life itself. He assassinates one of the Guardians and uses their blood to entice the entity out of hiding, then seeks to destroy it and all life in the cosmos. Sinestro forms a relationship with the entity and sets out to defeat Nekron. Despite Sinestro's destruction of Nekron's physical body, another Black Lantern merely picks up his weapon and assumes his physical form. The entity is then extracted from Sinestro by Nekron. Hal Jordan forms a link with the entity and utilizes its power to restore the lives of surviving heroes who have been changed into Black Lanterns. Hal uses the entity to change the heroes into White Lanterns, and the two team up to fight Nekron by reviving Black Hand and breaking Nekron's bond to the living plane. The entity resurrects the Anti-Monitor and it destroys the Black Lantern battery. Nekron's corpse is destroyed as his connection to the terrestrial world is cut, bringing the Blackest Night to a close. Hal Jordan kills himself to harness the power of the Black Hand's ring and escape the Dead Zone to stop Volthoom. Jordan summons Nekron after Volthoom annihilates the Dead Zone soldiers. Nekron initially hesitated to murder Volthoom, but he kills the first Lantern under Jordan's influence. After Hal Jordan is brought back to life by a Green Lantern ring, Nekron is transported back to where he came from. The true extent of his powers. The Green Lanterns are the most powerful of the Lanterns, but the Black Lanterns, especially Nekron, are massive. His flaw is that he needs to link to this realm in order to be here and cause havoc. How powerful is Anti-Monitor? Powerful enough to contain him? He is haunted by Nekron's flaws. He lacks the intellect to overcome or work on that problem since he is soulless and lifeless. Nekron is described as a creature of enormous power, maybe on a scale that is unfathomable. However, he is unable to join the living cosmos, raising the dead, shooting dark energy bolts, murdering with a single touch, and expanding indefinitely are only a few of his acknowledged talents. He can resist a blast from the Anti-Monitor, which is why he was thrown back to the antimatter realm. Nekron, a space creature who thrives on fear, is damaged by the presence of bravery. He gets the most nutrition from what he refers to as D-fear, or the fear of death. Though the presence of bravery is unpleasant, it does not appear to be immediately dangerous. For all we know, the pain isn't all that bad, and it's just that Nekron isn't accustomed to or hates it. With a strong enough intellect, he might overdose on enough extreme dread of death. Nekron's own technology, on the other hand, will not induce such a deadly level of terror. A sphere that fires a stream or cloud of gas is his primary weapon. If the victim is currently in danger, this smoke might produce an image of death in their minds. A quick vision of the individual dying from the close danger will appear. This is really accurate and extremely startling. This might demoralize even the most powerful superheroes, causing them to abandon the never-ending war. They grew engrossed in self-preservation and refused to take any chances. External events and influence can mitigate this for a while. A third-party mind emotion control might likewise override this dread as if it were a regular emotion. When Nekron was beaten, though the effects vanished, The gas jet is highly quick and accurate. In the chaos of Super Battlefield, it's easy to miss. When fed, Nekron transforms into a massive, draconic-looking beast, possesses extraordinary reflexes, and is capable of engaging even the quickest and most precise heroes. He also possesses Class 100 strength, making him appear more powerful than current Wonder Woman, and this isn't even close to his full potential. Nekron grew to be around 20 meters tall when he overdosed on fear. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.